initially for his or her reference. Then output, you have to go for plot of stress strain curve, understanding the underlying mechanism of tensile deformation. What does mean by what will happen with the defect, different defect, what will happen with the structural evolution, all can be understood using the MD simulation process. And all the structure property correlation you can understand using various modifiers of Y Ovito available. Already I told Ovito software can have certain modifiers which will help you to understand the structure and how the structure are going to change with respect to different activities. Then stacking fall, twin boundaries, those terms are metallurgical terms. Stacking fall means the sequence of stacking of atoms or layer of atoms in a particular metal. If it is a disturbed, then you calculate the stacking fall. If twin boundary means if deformation is there and one part of the system, it looks like a mirror image of other, just immediate other part of the system or parent part, then it's called twin boundaries. So this kind of defect, if it is there, you can understand, you can identify using common neighbor analysis. When based on one atom, how the common neighboring atoms are arranged. So from that you can understand. Now nanocrystalline, this part it's not so important for you, but nanocrystalline is very important for materials engineers. But generating a nanocrystalline architecture, we need support of computational scientists, because it actually depends or actually works using Voronoi algorithm, Voronoi polyhedra architecture. You know Voronoi, a mathematician, he actually proposed Voronoi algorithm, and based on that, computational nanocrystalline material is prepared. And why it is so important? Because if you decrease the size of a grain, a crystal, a particular grain, then the strength of a particular metal system will enhance like anything. And it is the basis of strengthening a particular material using grain refinement. So those metallurgical issues or metallurgical postulates can be used to prepare a simulated specimen, which in the end of the day will help to design new novel material for particular application, such as nanocrystalline material. And these are the different tensile deformation. So we have, based on this, we have published one article just where, if you understand that I put this article features in order to convey a message that we know about composite, metal matrix composite or something, some composite, that part everybody knows. But carbon nanotube, a very buzzword. So how it will interact with the aluminum or particular metallic system or nanocrystalline system, and how it will going to enhance the strength and ductility. Those proper calculation underlying physics can be done using a molecular dynamics simulation, and we have done and published that things. So this is a tensile deformation from our group. Just I am putting that, while that this is the practical application. And the specimen tensile deformation, if you look at the specimen, all are computational design. The matrix of nanocrystalline aluminum, it's based on Voronoi algorithm. Then if you look at the reinforcement, that CNT, it is by that CNT architecture, different structural will be there based on the chirality, and then you put there and try to simulate tensile test. Already we have discussed that. So you will get the certain tensile curve, that stress strain versus, and that actually will help you to understand how you are going to create new material, design new structural material. Those are the different defects, underlying physics. If you want to understand, these are the dislocation structure. All those can be done. This is under the scope of molecular dynamics simulation. I just informing that these are the things can be done. Atomic strain analysis can be done. Then common neighbor analysis, based on that you can understand the structure. Then if you go for dislocation analysis, you can see the dislocation part. Now another case study I will discuss, that is creep. What is creep? That is the slow and progressive deformation of material at a particular constant load and constant temperature with respect to time. So it is a time dependent. So how it is important? Suppose a gas turbine engine or powertrain or certain blade is high temperature, lot of time certain load they are carrying at high temperature. So what will happen? That stretches the deformation. So if you want to simulate that part also, then there is a different stages: primary stage, secondary stage, tertiary. This is a metallurgical part or materials engineering part. But if you look at, if you want get the simulation, what will happen with their uh, atomic structure or configuration of that particular element, then it is great for one to predict the proper failure time. So prediction of failure, understanding the proper failure, if it is a creep or any kind of even fatigue, another name is there for cyclic loading, under cyclic loading on deformation is there. So those mechanisms can be understood using molecular dynamic simulation. So, and that mechanism can be bulk diffusion. This is a totally materials area, gain boundary diffusion and dislocation climb. But where is the interest of computer scientists? If you look at bulk diffusion, if you want to model it, then you have to understand very well the digital logic for particular computational system, how XOR gate, NOR gate works, and then if you use that concept and to understand the cell by cell what will update the process for particular metallurgical process, then it can be cellular automata part also can be used. It can be used by certain data driven modeling of machine learning. So all those are phenomena from the different data source, different physical phenomena of materials world can be explained using different computational techniques. So we need to have a proper interface between materials engineer and computer scientists in order to understand those things. Those are the different mechanisms. 4 mechanisms are responsible for creep deformation: bulk deformation, diffusion, grain boundary diffusion, dislocation climb, and dislocation glide. What is bulk diffusion? If the diffusion is happen all throughout the material, then is a bulk diffusion. It understood by Navarro and Herring, or they discovered it, or they proposed it. So their name, it named Navarro Herring creep. And if the diffusion is channeled through the misalignment between two atoms, means two crystals. So grain boundary through diffusion is occurring, then is a Cobold diffusion because Cobold has proposed. And dislocation climb means if dislocation can climb from one particular plane to another plane through diffusion process, then it is the mechanism called dislocation. What is dislocation? It's a line defect, already I told. And dislocation glide, movement of particular line defect throughout the crystal structure is a dislocation glide. So those are the technical terms strongly related to metallurgy process. But to simulate them, if there is an interface between proper computational algorithm person and metallurgy person, then the simulation will be perfect and more information will come. Again, the way I have represented tensile deformation here, same way I am representing the creep deformation input file. If you look at the units, metal are there, and echo both means it can be seen in the screen of execute Windows screen or log file. Both you can print all the things. These are the just grammar and dimension and the periodic boundary condition, PPP. Already I told. Then we go for read data. This is a nanocrystalline structure, the picture. Read data file, the atomic configuration means X, Y, Z coordinate will be there for the atoms. So that is one of the input file. And read data file, then you can go for the time step. It is a 2 femtosecond here. That time 1 femtosecond, then it's the time step. And then you can go for then again potential file, nickel em.fs. This is the Fins Sinclair potential file. You forget about the name. It is a file where again I am repeating all the pair potential of nickel is there. I have taken the element nickel. Here actually the interatomic forces of nickel for different distance of interatomic distance, the informations are there. Then the access of the information during simulation is important. Again the random number, different random number, just a number, and this is a seed random number seed you can get, and it will start the simulation, random number seed, and he said it should be a positive integer as per the format of LAMMPS, the molecular dynamics. Then energy minimization, same conjugate gradient method. There also scope of advancement is there. Then certain equilibration process. Then you can go for the strain calculation, initial value, the elongation, strain calculation, then try to get the log file and print the thermal properties. So in this way, the trajectory files means after the deformation, what will happen with the atomic configuration. And this is the one kind of ensemble. NBE means number of element, volume, and energy. So those things, it cannot be understood by one lecture, but you have, if somebody is really interested, he or she can go through this site and this lecture multiple times and try to understand what the particular problem will be addressed. And in this way, same way that Pete Phenomena, one of the representative publication is there. There we have discussed about how healing mechanism is important with respect to the nano crack. My student and myself done the work, and we try to represent that during such kind of things, creep not always a deformation mechanism. Sometimes it's help to create a concept self-healing materials. Materials can heal during its service period. So that is healing mechanism of nanocrack in nanocrystalline we have proposed and it published in Applied Physics. So these are the results of that thing. In order to convey a message that there are really scientific work, materials engineering sector is required in order to solve certain metallurgical or materials issues. Now question will come, the ultimate. Who can perform molecular dynamic simulation for materials engineering and science? So the simple thing, what are the different passion or knowledge, skill or mindset is required as per my humble understanding. To perform MD simulation, one requires love to do programming. Lot of programming is required because the scope of opportunity in this field is huge. And also you have to be very fond of physics and mathematics as well. And the knowledge, linear algebra you should know, numerical methods, solving differential equation and certain probability and statistics. And statistical thermodynamics and statistical mechanics is essential, but we should know because all those things we require if we want to apply. And if you go for develop, then another computer science part is required, and skill coding and debugging, and visualization of problem and capable of formulation of the intended problem in MD simulation, molecular dynamics simulation framework. And what will be the mindset? This is a very important part. As per me, open for learning new software and computational field because it's an ever-changing area. Always you will see the version. Even the LAMMPS, every 3 months, the LAMMPS is updating its version and previous command will not work. So you always open for acquainting with, get the acquaintance with the updated version of the software or computational tool, and flexible and prepared to fail and be patient because failure is very common in order to simulate using memory simulation because it's a very difficult sometimes understand what will we after 1 month or 2 months of running simulation, then we will get the result, and after getting result only you can understand that the actual objective, what you are looking for, you are not going to get. So failure is very common, and you have to be very focused and good concentration with the computers. So it is very important. So one must have thorough understanding of if you are going for material science that interfacing is required, or regular experimental and computational articles you have to read if somebody want to define as a materials. This role is for materials engineer, but if you computational person, then they will define problem for you and you will develop the algorithm. That is my humble understanding. And what is in future? the quantum computing is coming, and that will help getting the very faster output of this molecular dynamic simulation, and that can use to run few millions of atoms, large proteins, semiconductor, large genome, genetic code of virus, and all those things, proteins. So there's a great future ahead if when quantum computing will come up with a very strongly, at least in case of molecular dynamic simulation for materials engineers. This is our research group. End of the day, just I want to share, this is my research group activities. We used to do atomistic modeling of deformation of materials, microstructure modeling, certain digitization of market structure, and certain process modeling using certain soft computing tools like genetic algorithm and all those things, and certain computational fluid dynamics works. These are the pictorial representation. If you see one experimental things and another is corresponding, and this is our publications. We used to publish certain reputed journals only in molecular dynamics, and these computational we never done experimental things. And I have authored certain books. These two books are, if you want more insight in the CRC these molecular dynamic simulation of nanostructured material, you can refer, or process modeling of steel industry, anywhere you can refer those things. And I have a good research team. Whatever work I have represented, what are things I have learned, I learned from my students only, because they are always helpful and they are actually making me little bit of knowledgeable person so that I can give such talk. So really I am acknowledging my student contribution in order to get much more understanding person with respect to molecular dynamics or computational materials engineering. And I also having certain collaborators. They are really helping me to grow in this field. All the Professor Chung Dang from Manitoba, Charlotte from France, Doc Sparrow and Rupert from US, and certain collaborator Ruchira, Archana, they will give talk in this thing. And my PhD guide now become my collaborator, Professor Torun Kumar Kundu, and my same department colleague, my BTech guide also there. So a lot of my collaborators are there, and they are actually helping me to grow. And some alumni of my group, some doctoral students, they have worked with me, and they now left for after completion their degree or graduating from their activities. And these are my sponsors, my research activities. So this is all about me, certain reference. Thank you, and thank you all, and thank you for patience hearing. I know the subject is little bit different what you are interested, and morning one of our esteemed participant also asked the question, that is very rightly asked question. But my understanding is that if you really want to explore certain areas which are coming in future, it is interdisciplinary things. And material informatics are going to get huge funding coming days by bioinformatics and material informatics. So in this area, computational scientists are having high age. You can work, and your skill is very important for us to solve certain problems. Thank you all. Now, any question, any doubt, please ask anything, not regarding like this, anything regarding material informatics, anything, whatever I can answer, I'll answer. If I cannot, I'll take time, I'll answer later. But you please ask question. Raise your hand.
If anyone have query, please raise your hand. Dear participants, if you have any query, please raise your hand. Any queries from any participant?
I think no queries. Otherwise, somebody raise his or her hand. Okay.
Sir, thank you for your presentation, sir.
So now we'll close the session, and you have shared the attendance link to the.
Yes, sir, I did. Sir.
Okay. Now you stop recording and we'll close. And again, tomorrow morning, 9:30, we'll start the